Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the new Marvel Legends Retro Cardist series of Spider-Man characters, Green Goblin. And I know a lot of people have been complaining about this guy because of the eyes. I personally really like this figure. There are a few things which I don't care for, but most of it is subjective as, well, I guess it's not so subjective. You can see the colors are weird. He's a little bit neon green, and the purple's a little bit off, but I don't mind that personally. I think it looks really good still, but definitely some good stuff going on with this figure. A few things which aren't great, but we've seen most of these parts before, so it's really no surprise. But there's still some stuff to talk about, so let's go ahead and get it off the stand and take a closer look. This guy stands just about 6.5 inches, which makes him pretty close to 16.5 centimeters. And the first thing I noticed about this guy is saturation was no problem for them. His green is very vibrant. I love it. Is it the exact right green? Maybe not, but I don't personally care. You can decide if you do. The pink is definitely the right color as far as I can tell. Maybe the purple's a little bit off. It still looks really darn good, and I think without a side-by-side comparison, most people aren't going to notice that the colors are slightly different. And maybe they're made to look more like the original release that these figures are based on. I don't know. I'm not that familiar with it off the top of my head. But the thing that most people are talking about is the head sculpt, particularly the eyes, the way they're painted. I love it. I do wish they were slightly less googly, but as you can see, mine are mostly straight. I've seen some photos on like the Instagrams and the Twitters where people have really googly ones. I'm not sure if they're real or photoshopped now that mine is so straight. I'm thinking maybe they photoshopped theirs or maybe I got lucky, but I think it looks really good. My mouth is a little bit crooked on mine, but it's still a really sharp looking figure with a wonderful head sculpt. So I like it. The only paint we have really though is right here on the buckle. The rest is all just molded plastic. Luckily, this guy does have a lot of variation. Well, at least it's spread out between the purple and the green, and it looks really good. And luckily, again, he's textured throughout, so you don't need as much paint because the light and natural shadows are going to do a lot of the work for you. So I think this guy looks really good. Aesthetically speaking, it is... Okay, so paint would make it better, don't get me wrong, and there are things I would change that are just specific to my taste or maybe slight accuracy issues, but all that being said, this figure looks really good. Really good. It's going to look great on a shelf. It captures the look of Goblin almost perfectly. I'm going to give it a 9 for the aesthetic. I would love more paint, but I don't think it needs it. As far as accessories go, we do have an alternate head. So you saw the Goblin head, then we have the Norman Osborn head, which I think is just not a good sculpt. It doesn't capture any particular look to his face. It looks really generic and bland and boring and just not very good. I know it's not supposed to be the cartoon version of him, but the old Goblin, the old Goblin alternate head was so much better. This is just, it doesn't suit the character as far as I'm concerned. I don't care for it. If you like it, good, then that's fine. But mine does have a Bernie Mac eye, and that's a little bit of a bummer. We do also have a pumpkin bomb, which is nice. It'll fit in either of his hands because he has 2 pumpkin bomb holding hands and 1 pumpkin bomb. Nothing else to hold, no alternate hands, so he's gonna have 2 gripping hands all the time. Again, why is that a thing? And then lastly, we do get his glider, which is better than nothing, better than no glider at all. But it is completely hollow from the bottom, does have a socket for a flight stand, but no flight stand, and the flight stands that it fits on are few and far between, and also used for the things they come with. So what are we supposed to do with this? It's just better than nothing. There's no paint, that's it. It's just better than no glider at all. So accessories, I'm only going to do a 5. The head sucks, the glider sucks, pumpkin bomb is okay, no alternate hands, 5. As far as articulation goes, this guy's on a hinge and a ball peg, and it works wonderfully. This just goes to show you don't need a giant gap to get good range. Look at that. It looks all the way down. It looks all the way up. It looks side to side. It even has a little bit of attitude. Let's just do a quick comparison. From the same wave, this is their all-new enhanced articulation Spider-Man figure with a double ball peg that's poorly made and a giant hole in the back of his neck so that he can look up. Let's do a quick comparison here. Who looks up farther? Goblin. Who looks better doing it? Goblin. It's not even close. Spider-Man looks like crap up against almost every other figure in the wave other than Peter Parker, which is funny that the 2 worst figures are the namesake. Alright, so the head is great. This is, I guess, technically an accessory too if you want to include it. Shoulders, let's see. They have been problems in the past. Still not great, but definitely acceptable. Can't go quite horizontal though. Full rotation is fine. Bicep swivel is fine. Double jointed elbow is as much range as you would expect for a long glove, so that is okay. Wrists have a swivel and a hinge. Diaphragm joint, or ab crunch I mean, goes all the way back, but you get a pizza oven, so that kind of sucks. Big old cavity there. That could definitely be filled out. And then going forward, it just doesn't go that far. It looks like it would go a lot farther. It doesn't. If any of you have this figure and yours goes farther, let me know in the comment section below, but it feels to me like they just have a block in there so that it can't go. That sucks. Waist twist is a waist twist. We have a floaty belt. Hips go very nicely forward. A little bit stiff, but that's probably better than loose. They go a little bit back, out to the side, only about 45 degrees. Definitely could be a little bit better range there. Thigh swivel is fine. Double jointed knee is a double jointed knee. Boot swivel. Ankles go all the way back, and if you tuck it over the little lump, pretty far forward. Not the best, but good enough. And then you get a decent ankle rocker. So the articulation on this guy, nothing special. The neck works really well. It's wonderful. But the shoulders aren't great. The ab crunch isn't great. The hips aren't great. Yeah, it's just pretty average other than the neck. So 7 out of 10. Final verdict on this guy. I personally love this figure. It's a great look for Goblin. It is now my favorite Goblin figure. And that's saying something because the original release was excellent all those years ago. But this one is a lot of fun. I love the colors. I love the head sculpt. I love the eyes. I'm going to put on a better glider and I'm going to be set. Objectively, there are definitely issues. So it's going to only get an 8 out of 10, which is a really strong score. But the glider being garbage is a problem. The accessories are not great. The hands aren't great. Definitely plenty of issues. Luckily, the figure makes up for it by looking awesome and having that really cool face. And I like it. And I gave it an 8, so deal with it. Thanks for watching, guys. If you liked the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. Because I have thousands of videos on the channel, and that's a good thing because even though I upload almost every day, there are some days where I don't have new videos, so you can watch one of the old ones, and that'll last you a long time. So come back for all of that good stuff, and in the meantime, keep collecting.